Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into the Fake Spike podcast with Tyler and Cole. That
Yes,
there's
sir.
Tyler. I'm here, Cole.
How you guys doing?
How are you doing? How are you feeling? That was a fun week in the NFL, huh?
Yeah, so I look at you and I discussed a little bit earlier. I spent the weekend with family, so it's hard to keep track of everything. But from the sounds of it, seems pretty fucking eventful. Of course, the one week that I can't pay any attention whatsoever, there's some historical shit happening.
Yeah, like the biggest blown lead in NFL history. What do you think about that, man? What do you think about Indianapolis going up 33-0 on the Vikings and blowing that?
There are games where total score isn't even 33 points. Like there was, I can't remember who you said played 13-3 was the win.
That was the Ravens and Browns.
So there are games that legitimately don't even score 33 points between both teams. And they went up on that 33-0 by halftime and
Yep.
fucking smoked it.
I was at work that day. From what I understand, from what I've seen, there was a few defensive touchdowns, and Jonathan Taylor got hurt pretty early in the game, so that was not good for him. Not good for a lot of fantasy managers. I'm sure some people got eliminated from the playoffs from that, but yeah,
Who was final score in that game?
I think it was 36-30. No, 36-37. Hang on. I had it here a second ago. I know they went up 33-0. Then the Vikings scored a touchdown. Indianapolis scored a field goal after that, and then they didn't score again.
Okay.
So they try to make it competitive. Apparently, they couldn't run the ball to save their lives, though.
You did mention Jonathan Taylor getting injured.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor got hurt, and then oh my god, what's the backup's name? Zach Moss. I think they tried to run Zach Moss 25 times, and it didn't work out well for him. 36-39 was the final score.
Yeah, see, like I said, you have games that whole scores don't go up to 33 points, and then you smoke it.
Yeah,
And
Zach
by like
Moss.
that's a lot of points in the game too.
Zach Moss, 24 carries for 80 yards or 81 yards.
That's not
Deion Jackson, 13 carries for 55 yards. They were trying to run the clock out. It just didn't work.
all no,
Oh
buddy.
my God. I'm just looking at like stats from that game. Michael
Yeah.
Pittman had 10 catches, which most on the team, because that's a lot of catches. But the next highest is 2. Yeah, they weren't spreading that ball around.
That's a little bit of a drop there, champ.
Right. So that's Matt Ryan's, the Colts quarterback. That's his second blown lead of like the top 10 biggest blown leads in NFL history.
So he's trying to be a historical quarterback there, buddy.
Oh man.
Maybe
I
in
feel
all the wrong
so,
departments, but he's succeeding.
dude, I feel bad for him, honestly. Like he doesn't play defense. It's not his fault.
Right.
Obviously he could score some more points there, but
33 is a lot though.
I'm sure you've heard the Atlanta Falcons 28-3 joke before.
No.
Guys, I'm sorry, I found him under a rock. He was down there playing with a basketball, watching 1996 Chicago Bulls highlights.
That's right. Listen, man. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
The 28-3 blown lead was in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
28 to fucking and who was that?
That was Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons against Tom Brady. And yeah. That was God, what year was that? That was like 5 years ago.
Buddy,
6 maybe. That was a long time ago, man. But Jeff Saturday got his ass kicked on the Saturday, so
that's fun. That's always fun.
that's fun. Unfortunately, we both had Minnesota picked plus or -4 for that matchup. So
Yeah.
we got an L there. Like I said, San Francisco had a pretty good game on Thursday night. That's like what 5 days ago at this point.
Something like
So
that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5 days ago.
not too much to go over there. George Kittle had a really good game. I thought Brandon Ayuk would have a decent game with Debo being out, but he did not. Uh, Kittle and McCaffrey had pretty damn good games though.
McCaffrey was killing. I saw that.
Let's see. Baltimore and Cleveland. Oh my God, I I didn't see anything from that game, and it doesn't sound like I missed much. 13-3.
Yeah, so that's what I mentioned earlier with the cold slots when I asked you about that game. That doesn't seem very eventful, buddy. That's what two touchdowns, a point after touchdown, and then 3 points field goal. It's fucking not a lot of action.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna guess it was probably a touchdown and two field goals. Let's see.
I didn't even think about that to be honest with you.
Yeah, Justin Tucker missed two field goals, which is very un-Justin Tucker like. That's the
Justin
wrong.
Tucker-ish.
I'm trying to find what happened during this game, and it gave me the freaking matchup from week 7 or week 8.
That was a little bit of a minute ago there, buddy.
Anyway, here we go. So anyway, doesn't sound like too terribly much happened in that game. All right, stats. Deshaun Watson went 18 for 28, threw one touchdown, and got sacked 3 times. Who the hell got the other touchdown?
18 for 20 isn't horrible.
Okay. Yeah, they only got one touchdown. It looks like he's starting to play decent. Knocking that rust off after 2 years of not playing. Do you think he'll ever get back to what he was before this 2 year absence?
It was tough for me to tell you that due to the fact that I didn't watch 2 years ago. What I will say though, from my experience watching other sports, is age does play a factor in that. So you got to think it was 2 years. I'm sure he was maintaining his body, right? Um, but there's still that. So I don't even remember how old he is. I'm sure you told me.
I think he's 28.
So athletic prime statistically is like 27 to 30. So while
Right.
he could be rolling into that and possibly hit peak, you're still gonna wonder what the missed gap would have been. You know what I mean? And realistically,
He's
you get more experience playing, so your skill goes up. So if he played for those 2 years, maybe his prime would be better.
he's 27.
27.
But
It still
yeah,
applies though.
there's also the Cleveland Browns effect. People that play for the Cleveland Browns typically end up doing badly, especially quarterbacks. I think they've had, I think it's 30 starting quarterbacks since 1995 or something crazy like that.
I feel like football is a little bit different than other sports though, too. Like average career, it might even be the same as other sports, but in football, like you're getting the shit kicked out of you. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's a little bit
Um,
different there too.
yeah. Uh, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
You get the shit kicked out of you in football.
Right. A
I
lot
feel
of the
like
time.
your clock is maybe a little bit shorter than we'll say basketball or baseball or whatever. Now, you get hit with 100-mile fucking fastball, it's gonna suck. Or LeBron tackles you to the ground for a fucking layup, it's gonna suck. But that's not every play. You know what I mean? And a quarterback doesn't get tackled every play. But shit, it hurts a lot more when a 320-pound lineman runs his ass over.
Yeah. Right.
So fucking, LeBron's getting somebody blowing wind at him and he fucking flops. Baseball careers end due to a skill gap. But football, you're just getting the shit kicked out of you.
And the average NFL career is like 3.5 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
NBA. If you're a good journeyman in the NBA, you could be there for like 15 years. Uh, I don't know what the average career in the NBA is. It's probably like 7 or 8 though.
uh,
And I don't know what MLB would be either, but
I'm not sure. I barely know the NFL one. It's like it's between 3 and 4 years, something like that. A lot of players don't outlast their rookie contract because the NFL is just different, man. Like
oh
if
shit.
you're elite, you're going to be in the league for a long time. But if you're average, you better hope you have a good personality to keep teams calling you. Because if you're kind of a dickhead, nobody's going to want to be around you. And if you're not talented enough, they're going to kick you to the curb pretty quick.
So I was severely wrong about MLB. I don't quite know why. The average career is 2.7 years, and only 32 players in the history of the MLB have made it to 10 years.
Oh, wow.
I
That's
didn't know
pretty nuts.
baseball was that big or that bad. NBA is 5 years though. But I think MLB thing is kind of similar to that. If you're average, you're just gonna get replaced quick. There's a lot of people up and coming. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of minor leagues for baseball that people go to and make a lot of money.
Yeah, they've had a ridiculous amount of quarterbacks. The Browns have since
30,
they
35.
since 1999 when they re-entered the NFL. Because I'm sure most of the if okay, I'm sure a lot of the listeners know, but I'm sure you do not, because why would you? Um,
Precisely.
in about 1995, I think it was 1996, the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore and became the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah.
Elaborate on that one, please.
Um, what do you mean collaborating on that one?
I said elaborate, not collaborate.
Okay. What do you mean elaborating on that one?
Why?
Um, they were sick of Cleveland, I guess.
What was Baltimore? Was Baltimore not a team at the time?
Baltimore used to have the Colts, the Baltimore Colts, but they left in the Baltimore Colts basically picked up and left in the middle of the night and became the Indianapolis Colts. And I think it was a year or two later, I'm not positive on the dates, that the Cleveland Browns shut down and said, hey, let's go to Baltimore and make some doll hairs. Come the Ravens. And yeah.
It worked.
Then in 1999, the Cleveland Browns re-entered the NFL. So it's kind of a different franchise, kind of the same franchise. It's weird. But yeah, since they re-entered the NFL, they've had four coaches in the first four coaches. Yeah, that's right. No, four quarterbacks in the first 2 years, which isn't terrible. But I stopped there because one of those quarterbacks was Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson, who won the Super Bowl with the Eagles. Anyway, long story short, they've had a crap ton of quarterbacks in the last couple years, in the last 20 years. Moving on. Well, we spent a lot of time on those first three games.
We did.
Anyway, heading on to the Saturday night game, you got that right because you had Miami plus points. I got that wrong because I had Buffalo winning straight up. It was a pretty good game. We thought it was going to be a snowball from hell.
Yeah. How was it?
It didn't start snowing until the fourth quarter. It snowed earlier in the day, and the game got delayed a little bit because fans were throwing snowballs at Dolphins players and the refs.
You know what? I can't blame it.
They,
That's fucking funny.
they delayed the games, and the refs like, if you guys keep throwing snowballs, Buffalo's going to get a 15-yard penalty. And that stopped it.
That would fucking yeah. That stopped me.
That's when you're there, freaking, and when you're there as the opposing team's fan, you take off your jersey and just
Start chucking.
throw another snowball till you get the 15 yards, and you're like, jersey back on. Yeah, you might get beat up, but
Fucking help the team. Learn, know how to fight. You be all right.
right. Yeah, Buffalo is a damn good team. Uh, Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns, and Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis didn't catch one. Like they
Stephon
have
Diggs is
some.
fucking good.
He is. They have some freaking weapons on that team. Um, Josh Allen's like we've been over this. Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, top 5. Miami didn't look bad. I thought Tua would look a little worse during that game, but surprisingly, he looked well. The one part of the game I was able to catch because I was on my lunch or my break or whatever. I'd seen Tyreek Hill catch a nice touchdown pass from him.
He's deadly too.
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill.
absolutely. I still say Miami's going to make the playoffs. Buffalo did make it a little bit more difficult for him, though.
I mean, Miami's a good team. Buffalo's a good team. Buffalo's a great team. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. Eagles clinch playoffs. The Bills clinch playoffs. I can't remember who else.
Kansas City, Dallas.
I think that might be
You didn't hear that, did you?
no.
Okay, somebody's screaming outside.
No, buddy, I got a fireplace on me and a woman on the bed listening to TikTok. So
I can't hear that either. All right.
see, we're all good.
All right.
Can't hear
Sounds
it.
good.
I can't hear it. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato.
All right.
What was the next game?
Let's see here. The next game would be Atlanta and New Orleans.
Atlanta and New Orleans, where the Saints did catch the W, fellas.
Let's see. Do you think the Bills are going to keep the 1 seed?
Oh shit, dude, you put me on the spot. Talk about the Saints game. Give me a second.
The Bills have.
I'm still learning who's in conferences and divisions.
I'm sorry.
I'm still learning that part, champ.
Okay. The Bills have 3 games left: the Bears, the Bengals, and the Patriots. And the two, I think the only one that can take the division from them is the Chiefs. The Bengals might be able to.
The Cheeks? Did you say Cheeks?
Chiefs,
The Bills clinched the playoffs.
not division conference.
You think? Oh, you mean? Oh, you asked me if you think they're gonna win the conference.
Right, my bad. I
No,
said
you're
that
good.
wrong.
You're good, buddy. You're good. I guess it really depends on the strength of schedule, right?
Right, they do have a win over the Chiefs, so that's a big help.
They're 8-2 in the conference.
What's that?
They're 8-2 in their conference.
Right.
They're 7-3.
And the 2 games they lost were against the Dolphins and the Jets. They've beaten the Dolphins since, so those kind of cancel each other out.
Yeah. I don't think the Bengals stand a chance of winning the conference. I don't know. That's a tough call.
Right.
I'm gonna say they keep it.
Yeah, I the only game I could possibly see the Bills losing is to the Bengals, but I think that they would need to lose more than that to give up the division or the conference to the Bengals.
Well, that and the Bengals are third. They're 6-4. I think it's said in conference play. So outside of record, the next tiebreaker would be conference play. Or am I wrong?
I think you're right.
6-3. I'm sorry. Bengals are 10-4 overall, 6-3 in conference. Chiefs are 11-3, 7-3 in conference. Bills is 11-3, 8-2 in conference. So Chiefs have to win. Bills have to lose to tie conference play. But the Bills play the Bears, Bengals, and Patriots.
Right. So, I think they're going to beat the Bears. I think they're going to beat the Patriots. Like I said, that Bengals game's kind of a toss up, but I wouldn't be surprised if they won. All right. Yeah. Long story short, Buffalo's a good team. I still think they're going to win
Me too.
the conference. See, and by win the conference, I mean into the playoffs. They could easily lose a playoff game because uh, both playoff
Yeah.
games with Patrick Mahomes are a little bit different. So let's see. New Orleans and Atlanta. Desmond Ritter looked okay. If you are really hopeful, I guess. I didn't see too much outside of red zone. Red zone didn't spend a lot of time on that game. It was an all right game. Saints looked good to start, and they faded towards the
Bottled out in the
back
middle
half of
towards
the
the
game.
end.
Let's see here. Pittsburgh and Carolina is the next game we have down here. We both had the Steelers plus the points. Steelers won, so nailed that one. Mitch Trubisky looked pretty good.
I
Hopefully for
did see
his
a
sake.
notification come through about Trubisky. I don't know for what.
I have no idea. But he did look pretty decent. So hopefully for his sake, he doesn't have to play another game, and teams will remember that game. Steelers' offensive line looks pretty solid. Running game looked pretty good. It was a pretty good game from the Steelers. I mean, it's not like they were playing the 85 Bears or anything. They were playing a team that's got a losing record.
Right.
But I'll take it. Carolina, enjoy your first round pick.
You gotta take some positivity out of the season, you know?
Right.
Do you think
Hopefully,
so? This is a strange question. Who was their quarterback? Who's their quarterback? I can't remember the name.
Baker Mayfield has since been removed from the team,
Right.
and Sam Darnold's in there now.
Baker Mayfield. That's what I was thinking of. And they traded CMC early in the season to San
Right.
Fran, obviously. Do you think that they would still be getting the first pick if they had both those guys still on the team?
What do you mean?
So they've been dog shit, the Carolina
Right.
Panthers, right? And they were a little bit dog shit in the beginning of the season too, before the CMC trade and then Baker Mayfield yeeting himself out. Um, do you think that if both those players maintained on that team, that they would be as bad as they are throughout the whole season?
Probably they didn't start out too great. Their head coach has been fired, so they got an interim head coach in there now, and they got rid of Christian McCaffrey because the season's lost. We'll just try to get picks for him, and they got a haul. So if they can draft well, I think they're going to be a pretty solid team in the future.
Fair enough. I guess we'll see what happens, how it progresses.
Right. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles and Chicago Bears. We had Philadelphia -9. They did not quite cover, but they still got the win. Jalen Hurts looked like a madman in that game.
I heard some of his stats, and at the time I was like, holy shit, that sounds pretty fucking normal for Jalen Hurts. What's the deal? What do you think they're doing about his shoulder? They're gonna sit him?
I doubt it, because if they beat the Cowboys this week, they will lock up the division. They will lock up the division
Oh, yeah.
and send the Cowboys to the 5th seed. And that's probably
I hope they play him just because, like we discussed earlier, this is the first week of fantasy playoffs for me. So I hope they play him.
right. Yeah. The page we follow on Instagram, Blitz Alerts,
Yeah.
then we're having a little fun with that. Hurts is hurt.
I have been trying to, if I can't watch the games, I try my hardest to hop on Instagram and look at them.
Right. Miles Sanders had a pretty damn bad game. It was not pretty. Yeah, Jalen Hurts didn't have a great game throwing the ball, I guess. He had a 60% completion percentage, which is one of the lower on the season for him. Not, yeah.
Not the greatest.
It was his worst completion percentage since week 1.
Fair
He
enough.
threw 2 picks, but I'm pretty sure he ran in 3 touchdowns. So I think he's fine. Let's see. The Bears had a decent game. Justin Fields runs like crazy. David Montgomery had a pretty solid game. But I think they're just going to keep losing and enjoy the second overall pick. Unless they can take the first overall pick from the Texans, but I don't see Houston winning another game.
Well, like I said, you gotta take some of the fucking positives out of it.
Yeah, right. Although Houston did take Kansas City to overtime.
Do you think they should just quit trying?
I don't think the players really care. Half of them aren't going to be there next year.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and the coach is kind of, like, hey, let's try to win some games so I don't get fired. Come on, guys. So the owner probably wants them to lose, but the players and coaches do not want to lose. Get what I'm saying?
Sorry, Sam.
You good? Dallas and Jacksonville. What happened on the last play of that game, buddy?
Dallas and Jacksonville. A fucking interception, correct? Am I
Yep.
thinking of the Raiders game? No, it was a
No,
defensive interception. Yeah. An interception, and the dude happily ran his ass to the fucking touchdown.
Yep. In overtime. So the Dallas Cowboys took a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we both got that one wrong because, well, actually, I had it right. I had Jacksonville plus the points. You had Dallas winning straight up. So that's one of the games we differed on. Trevor Lawrence is starting to look pretty freaking solid, man.
He's my bench QB in fantasy. He's been fairly solid all year.
He looks a hell of a lot better than last year, which just shows you how much of an absolute joke freaking Urban Meyer was.
That was the head coach, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a Gators fan, so I'm supposed to like Urban Meyer, but he was an absolute horrible, horrible NFL head coach because he's more of a, how do I put this? More of a let me recruit my ass off and let my players do the work for me.
Yeah, and hope for the best.
That dude was an absolute joke. Like, he kicked one of the players last year in training camp. Yeah. And then the team was horrible. Trevor Lawrence couldn't do anything. And then Urban Meyer got caught at the bar with like some 20-year-old girl.
10 minutes.
It was a good time. How good are you at stitching podcasts together?
I'm fairly all right, buddy. I've been editing for quite a while.
All right, because I don't know if we're gonna get through the last 7 games in 10 minutes.
I have faith in this. We've done it before.
All right. Detroit at the New York Jets. Detroit and the New York Jets. Let's just go with that. Detroit, it's fairly obvious Detroit and the Jets are good teams, which is crazy considering how bad they were last year and even worse 2 years ago.
Right.
Dan Campbell's great head coach, I think. And oh my God, Robert Saleh, that's his name, is another great head coach. The Jets defense is incredible. Lions offense does pretty damn solid when they're at home. Unfortunately, they were on the road, so they didn't do too great, but they still managed to win the game. Zach Wilson looked decent, looked better than he did when he got benched, but I'm pretty certain the Jets, if they had their way about it, they would have Mike White starting on Thursday. What do you think?
What's the issue with Mike White?
He got speared. Like,
Oh, he got fucked up.
oh man, he got his ribs freaking messed up, dude. It looked painful.
Well, if he's fucked up and he's sitting, then yeah, I would think the obvious answer is they wanted him.
Uh, he went to 10 different doctors trying to get them to clear him for the game, and none of them would.
10 of them motherfuckers? He couldn't even pay one off?
Well, I mean, he's a backup, so he doesn't make that much money.
How much do you need to pay off a fucking doctor?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've never had to pay off a doctor. Have you ever had to pay off a doctor?
Next topic.
Like, doc, clear me from my knees, man. I need to play in this game.
Nah, never did that.
All right. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Denver Broncos. Oh my god. Yeah, I did not watch much of that game. Arizona's already without Kyler Murray, and Colt McCoy went out with a concussion.
That's a tough.
So we got the
your main quarterback,
we got the wonderful pleasure of watching Trace McSorley play football.
I don't even know who the fuck that is, buddy.
Exactly. Surprised you haven't heard the song, but yeah, Trace McSorley is not a fun guy to watch play football. He's kind of like a Nathan Peterman, where you're like, he's an
He's out there. He's out there. He's fucking. Right. He's playing.
Right. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals would have preferred to keep him as the third string quarterback, but injuries are lovely this time of year. There wasn't much to speak on that game. Denver won it. Did Russ even play? I don't think Russ played either.
I don't know. 6 minutes. Russell Wilson. Mr. Wilson.
Wilson. No, he did not play. All right. So yeah. 2 backup quarterbacks, well, third string and a backup. Yeah, I'm all right on watching a lot of that game. Next up, we both lost because we picked New England over Las Vegas in a pick'em game. What happened at the end of that game, buddy?
What was that?
What happened at the end of that game, buddy?
Wild ass fucking Hail Mary.
No.
Yes.
I'm talking about the last play of the game.
Oh, I was going through the last 30 seconds. My bad.
Oh, goddamn.
Another interception, correct? They were fucking yeeting the ball back and forth.
Yeah, that's called a lateral.
I
figured you couldn't think of the word. You've had a long day. Probably drove 16 hours.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. I'm sure Belichick was ready to freaking kill somebody because they were supposed to attempt the run and just go down if it wasn't open and take the game to overtime. But instead,
audible.
Ramondre Stevenson starts running, gets a few yards, decides to pitch back to Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers runs a little bit. He's like, oh, Mac Jones is open. And he throws it right to Chandler Jones. And then Chandler Jones puts Mac
in the fucking ground.
Yeah.
Little boy, that man.
Right. They had to bring out the shovels to pry Mac out of the freaking turf. And Las Vegas ran it right in. So that was a wild ass end of a game.
Boy got fucking.
So your Tennessee and the Chargers, nothing too special there. Tennessee's not doing great, Bob. They're not doing great.
Tennessee, they're what, 1 fucking 12 and something?
Negative. Tennessee started out pretty good, but I think they've lost.
Oh, Titans. I'm thinking of fucking Houston Texans. God damn it.
Texans, Titans. There's a lot of the same letters in there.
A lot of teeth.
But yeah, they've had a bad past month. and it's a possibility that Jacksonville could win that division.
The Tennessee Titans were really, really fucking strong in the beginning of the year.
Right. I don't know what happened.
Lost the last four.
Well, I mean, pretty sure Tannehill was hurt for like half that game on Sunday, but
I didn't think about that. Yeah, they lost the last four. Jaguars are behind them at 6-8. 5-4 in conference play. Titans are 7-7, 5-5 in conference play.
do you think the Jaguars could take the division title away
If
from
Trevor Lawrence
Tennessee?
keeps up what the fuck he's doing, I honestly I don't see it being a problem. Or not, I don't want to say problem. I see it as a genuine possibility.
Right.
Now
I think it's a possibility too.
they're fighting. Jaguars are fighting for their wins, but they're fucking 3-1 in the last four. They're 3-1 since their bye week. And they weren't easy teams out. They lost to the Lions, but they beat the Ravens, the Titans, and the Cowboys in OT.
Right. Yeah, I think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna win it.
And they got
How
the
much time we
Jets,
got?
2.5. They got the Jets, Texans, and Titans. So the Texans are a free win. So
Right. They should be. So here next up we have Cincinnati at Tampa Bay. I thought Tom Brady might have made that a game, but I think Cincinnati won that pretty decently. Uh, I don't know. I think Tom Brady's done. What do you think?
think he's gonna retire.
I think he's going to retire.
Go find himself an Instagram model and chill out.
Yeah. Podcast I listened to predicted his first girlfriend's going to be Marco Robbie.
I don't blame him for that.
um, and then last night's game, we had the New York Giants at the Commanders. There was some really bad calls in that game, but yeah, like legitimately, one of the last plays of the game, Washington receivers in the end zone, and a defender was hugging him from behind before the ball was even near him. Somebody photoshopped that next to the freaking cover photo for the Titanic movie. Funny as hell, man. But
Dope.
honestly, gotta give the Giants some props here. Their coach is fantastic. Brought their team from a shit show to a great team with basically nobody. So
Right.
hopefully they can draft well and put together a good team.
Is that all we got, buddy?
Uh, we got the Los Angeles Rams and Green Bay playing tonight. We'll talk about that on the podcast on Wednesday. You want to close
Perfect.
it out, Chief?
Yes, sir. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did and you're listening on audio platform, please give us a 5-star. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 50 subscribers. We very much appreciate it. And our Instagram and TikTok are linked down in the description below. We post probably twice a week on TikTok.
We're trying, man. We're trying.
It's been rough last couple weeks. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, that's great. Like, 5-star, all that fun stuff. Peace out.